this is our chance to tell not only our area, but the whole world, hey, we're serious about resilience. We're serious about flood control and mitigation here.
Welcome back. $2.5 billion. As we enter yet another hurricane season, Harris County Judge Ed Emmett says it's time to pony up and make a major investment in flood control projects. And the bond issue is scheduled for voter consideration August 25th, the anniversary of Hurricane Harvey's landfall. The measure would add roughly 1.5% to the tax bill of Harris County homeowners whose houses are valued above $200,000. Panel, given the destructive weather we've endured, is this a reasonable and prudent request? I'm going to ask you, Jessica Colon.
This is a very popular request, and then whenever this election, whether it would be held in August, whether it be held in November, whether it be held in 2019, this bond will pass.
Okay, Nyansa?
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, you...
I was too busy looking at Jessica.
And it was good.
Yes, I was agreeing.
Look, you have been dealing with clients who've suffered major damage from 1, 2, or even 3 of these floods. Do you think this is the type of thing that will cross both political lines? People will pay a little extra, almost like insurance itself.
They're going to pay a little extra because it's going to be forced on them to pay a little extra, whether they believe they need to or not. But I don't believe that. I feel like we should be reducing property taxes. I just feel like right now, and especially with the rains that we've had, and hurricane season started on Friday, and it goes until November 30th. And so with just the rains that we've already had, I believe that the taxpayers in Houston cannot afford anything more. We never did get, Mayor Turner, we never did get a reduction in the property taxes that would be able to offset the new values of those homes that were once flooded, like they did in the surrounding counties. And so we still haven't got an answer to that. So with this now being hurricane season, and Hurricane Harvey was, what, 10 months ago, we're still in the same place we were before Harvey. And I really don't believe that I see anything beneficial coming out of this. And like the only thing that I can say for homeowners to do is to protect themselves by increasing the amount of coverage that they have, get flood coverage even if you don't live in a flood zone, because we know what will happen, but also make sure that you do everything to make sure you get your wind coverage, hail, extra coverage, do it, whatever, because the city is not going to protect you. Mayor Turner, I implore you to figure out a way to ease the burden on people that have already been through so much over the last 2 years. Because it wasn't just Hurricane Harvey. It was the 2 storms that preceded that for the 2 years prior to that, especially in the Meyerland area. So I'm not talking about the bonds. I'm talking about do something now, Mayor Turner.
Okay. Bob Price, is this the kind of investment from taxpayers to dig a little deeper, got some infrastructure, and this will also trigger a lot more, this is matching money for federal projects?
Well, we're in a position where we've forced ourselves into having to do this. It needs to get done, and like Jessica said, it will pass. We could have done it a lot cheaper when we had the Katy Freeway ripped open if we'd executed the project that could have laid drainage underneath that freeway while it was ripped apart. But we didn't do that, so now we're left with this option. Let's don't blame this on Harvey, though. Harvey was a once-in-a-millennium type of event, an unprecedented event for a storm to just sit here for 4 days and dump rain. But that said, we flood when you get 2 inches of rain. So that needs to be addressed because of the massive expansion of housing out in the county. The county's going to have to spend some money to deal with that.
Real quick, Bill King, are you going to support this?
I think most people know how I feel about tax increases and increasing government debt, but this is something we need to do, and for 2 very important reasons. One, this is a match. We have a tremendous amount of federal money available, but you've got to put up the local portion of it. This 2.5 will do $10 billion of flood control projects. We're way behind. We need to do it. And most importantly, these are bonds issued by the Harris County Flood Control District. They can only be used for flood control, unlike our city drainage tax, which is used on everything else.
Yeah,
okay, real quick.
I'm just glad that everybody agrees with me. I have been shouting for months on years that yes, in order to get more, we are going to have to pay a little bit more. It's impossible. In your everyday life, when you want something more, when you want something better, you have to dig in your pocket and you have to get it. And I'm sorry, Nyanza, unfortunately, at the rate our city is growing and at the rate that our property is being acquired, it's not going to be possible to reduce.
Okay, going to switch gears. Meantime, by a vote of 13-4, Houston City Council approved a $4.9 billion budget put forth by Mayor Sylvester Turner. The go-ahead did not come without some drama, as veteran council member Jack Christie chairman of the Budget Committee, resigned in protest, saying council is failing taxpayers by not searching hard enough for savings. The mayor pushed back, claiming none of council members who opposed the budget provided any ideas for cost cutting.
It allows us to continue to serve the people of the city of Houston under the constraints that we find ourselves. But I believe that it is a very sound budget.
Sure you do.
Okay, panel, what is your point? Jessica, go ahead.
I'm just going to get my 2 cents in before I pitch it to Bill. But we're talking about not having enough police officers on the street, or not having enough money to pay for the police officers we need on the street. And why is the pyramid so inverted? Why aren't our priorities of police, fire, water, and trash, thank you, Ray Hunt, at the top of the pyramid instead of at the bottom of the pyramid where it currently is? We need to have our priorities straight, and I still don't see our priorities straight in this budget. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, I'm going to go to Tony because he got left out of the last conversation.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure, I tell you what, we're going to have another budget crisis in about a year. So, I mean, some of this looks like show, because let's make something clear. If you're tuning in, the gentleman quit being this position. He's still city council. Like, if someone had quit city council because of this, that'd be like, whoa, this is real. The other thing I want to add, too, is I think we have a budget every year. So if you've got ideas on how to fix the budget, or actually want people to get more involved, let's do that. So, again, it's tough to run a city. Let's be very open and apparent. But part of me likes the theater of it. But what I don't like is what I don't like is that, well, let's put these mechanisms in place that we keep talking about. I think we won't be talking about this in a few months and start all over.
Okay, Bill King, your read.
You know, your lead-in said because it wasn't cut deeply enough. The city of Houston has never, ever cut their budget. I brought some numbers with me today. Let me read these to you. In 2017, the city budget was $4.18 billion. In 2018, it's estimated to be $4.394 billion. And in 2019, the budget was just approved is $4.647. That's a 5.1% increase last year and a planned increase of 5.8% this year. Folks, how many of you out there got a 5% pay raise last year? I don't think any of you did, or very few of you did.
Not me.
Let me give you another number. In the last fiscal year, we had 21,279 employees. This budget calls for 21,917 employees, an increase of 638 employees for this coming year over last year. How many of those 638 do you think were police officers? 35. Now look, we've got money to add 638 new employees, but we don't have money to add any more than 35 police officers. I mean, get serious.
Okay, Marcus Davis.
Seriously, Bill, the years that you rattled off, the population of Houston grew. We are a growing city.
Excuse me.
And
Excuse me, Marcus. The census just released the numbers. We didn't grow at all last year.
As a growing
there was
city,
no increase in population last year.
Tell that to the people stuck in traffic on Highway 59.
Hold on. Let Marcus finish up.
We have a bus lane down Post Oak, we wouldn't be stuck in
we got about 30 seconds.
All right, and yes, the city added 600. Congratulations to the city of Houston for adding jobs in the city of Houston. Since when did that become a bad
What about the police
thing?
officers?
And
I thought we needed more police officers.
We do need more
Not
police
just 30.
officers. But the reality of it is, as you said, 13 council members agreed with that. Representatives, this wasn't the mayor's agreement. This was 13 representatives of the city of Houston who agree with this. And nobody, not one of you, not one of them presented an alternative plan. It's easy to say what we did, but it's hard to put together an alternative plan, which nobody presented.
We will come back to this topic.
Many times.
All right, panel, still ahead. Your last shot. We ask our panel, what did we miss? Stay with us.